6:30 a.m. Eastern only on FS1.
Yeah, listen to the rest of them. They'll be saying spicy stuff, too.
Talking Bucks with Chris Broussard now with a 1-0 lead over the Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals. Giannis isn't done. The Greek Freak and the Bucks hoping to be the first non-LeBron-led team to represent the East in almost a decade. Yesterday, Giannis said the East is definitely open now that teams don't have to go through the King. Broussard, will Giannis dominate the East now that LeBron's gone?
Well,
is it his conference now?
No, I don't see. Look, I think he's tremendous, and I think as time goes on, look, if they win it this year, which would be unprecedented for a team to not make major roster improvements and go from like the 16th best record to winning it all in a year, that'd be unprecedented. We haven't seen that. So he would, have a chance to do some really special things, but the East is going to get tougher. I mean, Philadelphia is not going away. And if, as we all have been speculating, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving go to New York, they're still going to be tough. If by chance Kawhi stays in Toronto, and Pascal Siakam keeps improving, they'll be tough. I don't see anyone doing what LeBron just did, 8 straight finals.
No.
I mean, that's
probably ever again.
Yeah, we've never seen something like that.
Why don't we just try to get what he did in Cleveland?
Right, which was four. Yeah,
let's just try to do that.
Right. I mean, even doing that would be incredible.
It would be.
Jordan didn't do that. He took a little break.
If Giannis made, and I'm as big of a Giannis proponent as anybody, if Giannis makes 4 finals in his career, it's amazing. It is a successful. He's probably successful, wonderful career. And so, set what LeBron did outside of it. These shows didn't exist in the 70s, but I hope people weren't like, who's going to be the next Russell Celtics? Because the answer was nobody ever again. Now, I think that what we're headed for in the East is a Giannis-led Bucks, a Durant-led Knicks, and an Embiid-led Sixers, those 3 teams fighting it out for years to come. And it is a bummer for teams like the Indiana Pacers, the Chicago Bulls, who I know are down right now, the Boston Celtics, who built to run into LeBron. And now they're building to run into not just Giannis, but potentially Embiid, and I believe Kevin Durant. I think Boston is going to go in the absolute other direction next year, and I don't think Toronto's going to keep Kawhi. If Toronto does keep Kawhi, then that 3-headed monster becomes a legitimate top 4 in the East. And Indiana's good, and Boston has shown they can win without Kyrie Irving. But you are talking about Giannis, who I think right now is the best player currently playing, Kevin Durant, who seemed like everyone else thinks is the best player currently playing, and Embiid, who has the only concern with him is availability. His upside is as high as anybody's in basketball. So that's what I think the East is about to have to deal with. I don't think it's just going to be, even though I do think the Bucks are going to win the title this year, the Bucks and Giannis, their conference, the rest of the conference going to be too strong for anyone to dominate the conference.
Yeah, I think that they should take advantage of the opportunity, and that's try to win one this year before the East gets stacked. Now, LeBron won't be there, so Giannis is right about that. And I got to give Giannis credit. I want Giannis to keep the same attitude, because not one time has Giannis said what Nick said, I'm the best player in the world. And not one time has he said Milwaukee is the place that you have to go through now. He realized it is wide open, but he's got to keep improving. They could lose Middleton this offseason. They found money on the side of the road with Brook Lopez, so let's not think this is some dynasty in the making. Like, they better take advantage of this year, because I don't believe he'll have a better opportunity. Let's say next year in the finals in the East, who they might face. A Joel Embiid after crying, because he's coming back for vengeance. The Prince is going to find a little.
Simmons with a jumper?
Yeah, no, not a jumper. 5-foot shot. 5 foot. That would double. That would double
Even I know
the
that.
length that he's got right now. Yeah, 5 feet. So I just believe it's very, very important. Don't be trying to grow with the league, man. You better try to get you a championship this year, because I believe it becomes more, because it's more difficult, that second round matchup. He's not going to have the type of matchup that Giannis had this year. It could be even tougher in the future, that second round matchup, to even get to the Eastern Conference Final.
And I think that people thought Boston was going to be a very tough second round matchup until Milwaukee did.
It's not a tough matchup for him. I'm talking about personally. He could be going against Kevin Durant and the young Prince with some more help, Joel Embiid, them coming back. So the path to even get to a championship, I believe, is going to be more difficult.
But I do think this year is good preparation for this year's East was not last year's East. right?
This year's East is better than last year's.
Oh, by
No
an
question.
enormous margin is my point. So if Giannis was, let's just pretend for a moment LeBron had left a year early, and Giannis was going through the playoffs in last year's Eastern Conference, where in the conference finals you're playing the Celtics undermanned. You're going the road.
And remember, they got beat by the Celtics.
Of course. And so it would not be the preparation for the East we're talking about. But having to go through Kawhi in Toronto, it's pretty good prep for if you have to go through Kevin Durant and whoever's on the Knicks. Like, it is not, you're not going from JV to varsity. You might be going to a higher level of varsity in that conference next year, but I'm not even certain of that.
A few things he has going for him, though. One, you got a great coach. I mean, we've seen the differences Budenholzer made this time, and coming from the Greg Popovich tree. And two, as opposed to Kevin Durant, not as opposed to Embiid, Giannis is still ascending. Like, that three-point shot he's beginning to hit, I think in 2 years he's going to be a very competent three-point shooter. If he has a jump shot from mid-range or, you know, set shot, whatever you want to call it, like, he's only going to keep getting better, and that's what's scary for the Eastern Conference.
They can't keep this team around him. Isn't this the team you want to try to keep around him?
They can.
Guys?
It's just not guaranteed they will. Like, they absolutely can. They can keep, everyone's under contract except for Middleton and Lopez. Middleton might end up being, it depends on the owners. They got that new arena there. I wouldn't go cheap. They're very wealthy people that have bought the team about a decade ago at this point. I would absolutely keep this group around him. But when guys are free agents, no franchise tag. Lopez could leave, Middleton could leave. But yes, this is the exact type of team.
So Middleton the max? You're going to max him out?
I don't know if you're going to have to max out Chris Middleton, but if you win the championship, you bring everybody back. You overpay. You bring everyone back and you deal with it. I think they overpaid slightly for Bledsoe because he's a really good fit with Giannis.
Lopez is going to have a lot of suitors, too.
And the Lopez...
Go back to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Right. They're going to be going hard after.
And the tough thing for them with Lopez is Middleton's already making a lot of money. Not max money, but a lot of money. Lopez making $3.5 million bucks, and he's about to make a hell of a lot more money. But Giannis, the point on the three-point shot, he's 25% during the regular season. He's all of a sudden 33% on more attempts during the postseason. He doesn't ever have to be 38%. If he can be 33 to 35% at some point, it totally changes how he's guarded, and they can't guard him right now when they're not worried about his jump shot.
And I'm not so sure he can't get to like 37, 38%. The way he works.
Broussard, stay with us in one more segment. It's coming up. Do the Warriors have a chance to repeat if KD does not return? Next on First Things First.
No three, we need you, man. We need expert analysis.
Last day before he gets out of here.
We got people getting on TV just saying anything. Caca.